Hey everybody, Jillian here. Welcome back to another process video. Today I'm going to be taking some sermon notes from last week and putting them in this super fun passport-sized notebook from Illustrated Faith. You can see how much smaller it is than the size 10 insert, and I love the mini format. So inside are grid pages, and I don't know if you can tell in the video, but they're rainbow colored. So each spread is a different color. And I've been using this to just create little mini entries in when I have a few moments, and that's what I'm going to do today. So here's a takeaway from Colossians that I put in here. These were some other sermon notes from the same series. So today I am going to show you how I use this little mini canvas to get these notes in here. I've got an assortment of things from the Print and Pray shop, like some printables from Brave Little Tailor. I love this set. I've got the rainbow grid labels that coordinate with the new Storyteller devotional kit from Illustrated Faith. I've grabbed the washi tape from that kit. I thought this might be fun to use with all the fun typewriters. Some more pieces from Taylor's set. When I cut into a Print and Pray set, this is like the third time I've printed this set, I put the little bits in a small jewelry bag like this so they don't get all over the place and get lost. And then I've grabbed a couple stamp sets. This really fun outline stamp set from Emily Karwoski that's in the Illustrated Faith shop at the time of recording this. Who knows, it may be out of stock when this goes live. And then the New Testament Revival Camp stamp set, which is travel themed, and I think I can make work with this spread. Who knows if I'm going to have enough room for all of this stuff. I typically run out of room when I'm working on this guy. That's pretty much it. I'm going to look through the notes that I took in this little notebook. This is from All Good Things. I'll have it linked in the video description below if you're interested in checking it out. I get asked every single time and I usually forget to link it, so I'll make sure to do that. So I'm just going to grab something like this Neo color because it's handy. Just go through my notes here and kind of highlight the big takeaways that I want to pull out and put in here. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and grab some other Neocolor 2 water-soluble wax pastels and a baby wipe to create a layer of color on my page first. So I'm going to use the technique of just wiping the wet wipe along the tip of the Neocolor and then just kind of pouncing it down onto the paper. So in order to get the colors that kind of resemble the color that are in those printables there, I used two different colors for the green. The first was Veronese green, and the second one is called greenish blue. And I'm just going to put those down at the same time in three different places, and then fold up my baby wipe so that I get a clean spot, and then go in with the next color, which is called ochre. And I'm also going to put that down in about three places. And I'm making sure that I don't blend them. And then the last colors that I'll go in with are this pink color, and then on top of that, oh well, not green, on top of that I'll use this salmon color. So there was no rhyme or reason for their placement, but it will kind of drive what colors go where when I put the printables down. I love this technique. It's so fun. It's a great way to get color onto your page without being very messy. It doesn't bleed through, as you can see, and the paper is only a bit saturated. I am still going to hit this with my heat tool really quick to just make sure that it's nice and dry. Alright, there we go. The edge is curled a little bit, which is no big deal once it's been closed, and I maybe sandwich it between a couple books. That won't be an issue. Next, I am going to take this outline alphabet stamp. Sorry if you can hear the garbage truck in the background. And in the top left corner, I'm just going to start stamping the word temptation, which was the point of the message. If you're interested in checking out this sermon, I'll link it also in the video description. It's part of this series called Near Christianity, which is not real Christianity. It's just something that maybe resembles it, but is actually quite detrimental to Christianity. So you may notice that I have some pieces already cut out from Taylor's set, and I am just keeping those there to pull from as I'm putting the spread together. So I'm going to start by using one of her little asterisks up at the top. I really love this bluish purple color. It's really fun. And yeah, so I'm just going to keep putting these little labels down as kind of journaling spots. I like having a piece in the middle to kind of bring the two pages together to make it look like one big spread. And then in here, I am going to just write down a Greek word that we looked at, which was relevant to the passage in Hebrews that we were looking at. I mean, it was used in that passage. And then I switched that printable up. It was kind of bothering me that it wasn't kind of going off the edge. It looked too cramped when it in its entirety was on the page. So I picked that up, stuck it back down, added some of this buffalo plaid washi tape behind the little label, and I'll bring that in 2 other places on the spread for some cohesion. And then I'm just going to start writing my notes down. Like I'm literally writing down what I wrote in my sermon notebook. I'm just condensing it. So I'm just writing here, in temptation, we typically choose self-preservation and pain, and heartache and death ensue. Temptation tests who we will really turn to when we're given choices. And so that Greek word refers to being tested. And then I'm kind of going about things backwards here. Typically, I put down like printables and stuff like that first, and then I fit my writing in. But here, I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing it backwards. So I'm writing stuff down first and then kind of making stuff fit later. And it's a little harder. So I layered up these 2 labels, and I chose the pink and this greenish color because it's right on top of yellow. And I put the yellow label in the middle because it was on top of the pink and near a big section of green. So you'll see that the neo color base just kind of directs those decisions as I'm going. I picked out this bluish purple, the Blurple typewriter from the Storyteller washi, and I'm just putting that on top of these grid labels that are layered there. Again, adding the buffalo check washi underneath there, letting it hang off the edge. Really nothing new here, friends. And then I'm just going to keep layering pieces around here. The next portion of the sermon, or my journaling, talks about when Jesus was tempted, so I made sure to use Taylor's printable that has like an arrow flag pointing to Jesus, and then that kind of like prompts the next portion of my notes. And then I'm just directing my attention over to the right side now, sticking down another grid label, choosing that mint color because it's near yellow and pink. I am indicating here that I want to use this stamp that has like the dotted line, but I can't make that exact stamp fit in what I've got here, so I'm just recreating it with my journaling pen. And it's not as cute as a stamp, but I think it still works. All right. So then I'm writing down the reference, Hebrews 2:18, where we're going to see that word used. I'm just noting that Jesus has been tested. And then my favorite part is going to go in that little purple circle off to the right with those 3 boxes. I'm wanting to like draw out this phrase, hold firmly, but I can't stamp it out and make it fit, so I'm going to use these teeny tiny alpha stickers from Studio Calico to spell out the phrase hold firmly, and then I'll go back in with my writing and just kind of note what that means. So I get to fill in this box. We see in Hebrews 4:15, it says, Jesus was tempted in every way, yet he did not sin. I really wanted to draw that out and put that in that little purple circle. And moving on to wrapping this guy up. I wrote down my little note. We overcome temptation by choosing to please God and choosing His way for our life. And so we were left with a couple of questions. And I'm using some Maggie Holmes alpha stickers for the letter Q here to indicate it's a question. The first one says, do I trust me or what God wants for me? And the second one says, will I sacrifice what feels good in the moment for what's best for me in the long run. And then on that grid label to the right, I just wrote a simple little prayer. Father, where am I choosing something over you? On the left side here, I chose to use the illustrated faith date stamp. I don't know why I wrote my notes the way that I did, but I had to split up the date stamp. So I stamped down the word sermon first and then the date underneath it. I have some blank space left, mostly on the right side, and I'm just going to go in with this stencil from Illustrated Faith and put my pen through it just to kind of fill up the space. So I'm not using watercolors or anything like that to try and do black splatters that just kind of fill up the space. And I'm looking for somewhere to bring it over to the left, because I am totally out of room on the left side. And that's it. I end up putting a little typewriter down on the bottom there. I'm choosing a pink one because it's on top of yellow and it's next to that mint colored label, and that is going to do it for me. So here's a finished look at my spread. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love sharing these videos with you guys. They're so fun to make. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment below. I'll do my best to link everything I use down in the video description below, along with that sermon notebook and the sermon. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Maybe take some notes tomorrow in church. I'd love to see what you do with them.